Top 10 Most Expensive Divorces. Divorces take place all year round for different reasons and across other regions of the world. Some, however, end up becoming headlines and hot topics on various grounds. Sometimes it's because the split of a famous couple is involved, or some sort of controversy has occurred around their divorce. She caught him doing what? Mostly, though, divorce becomes the source of headlines because of money, or the sum that's supposed to be split among the divorcees. Most of the divorces that have made news over a couple of years weren't of whom you'd expect it to be. Forget J-Lo and A-Rod. The most expensive divorce settlements in history are reserved for the fancy couples of Silicon Valley. And unfortunately, another very huge name is about to join them. The end of Bill and Melinda Gates' 27-year-old marriage will probably be the most expensive divorce settlement ever since Gates is worth around $130.5 billion. And an equal split of assets among them could make it the largest divorce ever recorded. While we await the two to make a settlement, let's look at some of the most extravagant divorces of all time. Number 1. Jeff Bezos and Mackenzie Scott, $38 billion. As the founder and CEO of one of the world's biggest companies, it's fitting that the divorce of the richest man in the world, Jeff Bezos, goes down as the most expensive one in history. The split from his wife, Mackenzie Scott, took place in 2019. The pair met while working at hedge fund D.E. Shaw, after which Scott helped Bezos launch the global marketplace Amazon, all the while being his support and helping in the immense growth of the business. The divorce settlement left Mackenzie, who has since remarried, a 4% stake in Amazon worth more than $38 billion, the value of which has soared even higher over the past year. The settlement made Scott the world's fourth richest woman with a net worth of $61.2 billion. However, Scott has promised since then to give away at least half of her fortune. Number 2. Alec and Jocelyn Wildenstein, $3.8 billion. Jocelyn Wildenstein, known amongst many because of her expensive cosmetic surgeries, is also a star when it comes to a divorce settlement. Her divorce from billionaire art dealer and businessman Alec Wildenstein made headlines for a week, partly because of the details of her life choices. Jocelyn once revealed her yearly telephone bill at $60,000 and food and wine cost at $547,000. When the couple split, she received $2.5 billion, along with a $100 million pay packet every year for 13 years. The catch? The judge set forth that the alimony money could not be spent for any further cosmetic surgery. She has since filed for bankruptcy. Number 3. Rupert Murdoch and Anna Marie Mann, $1.7 billion. After 30 years and 3 children together, the media mastermind Rupert Murdoch, executive chairman of News Corp and co-chairman of Fox Corporation, and his wife Anna, a Scottish writer and journalist, decided to call it quits. The proceedings were cordial at the beginning. However, things turned a bit salty after some time. Perhaps it had to do with Rupert's relationship and marriage with TV journalist Wendy just 17 days after the divorce in 1999. According to Business Insider, Anna received a whopping amount of $1.7 billion, including $110 million in cash from the divorce settlement. Number 4. Bernie and Slavica Ecclestone, $1.2 billion. Bernie Ecclestone, former Formula One chief executive, is a rich man, expected from someone in his position. However, his divorce settlement can be regarded as one of the strongest in history. In the 11 years since his parting from model Slavica, Bernie has received more than $500 million from Slavica's trust fund. However, he is certainly not the one who benefits from the arrangements. The fact of the matter is that Slavica has been paying him roughly $100 million per year because Bernie's assets were transferred into Slavica's name when he was suffering severe health issues back in the 1990s. Even after 2 decades, Slavica still holds the deeds and pink slips on a number of his assets, along with a solid amount of $1.2 billion as a divorce settlement of her own. Number 5. Steve and Elaine Wynn, $1 billion. A royal couple of Vegas separated from each other in 2010, costing a whopping $1 billion in the process. Real estate businessman and art collector Steve Wynn made the most of his fortune from his hotel game, selling his Mirage Resorts company to MGM Grand in 2000. Much like a hotel, his personal life saw many coming and going. Wynn and Elaine Pascal tied the knot in 1963 before divorcing in 1986. Only 5 years later, in 1991, the couple was back at the altar and separated for the final time 19 years later. But bad luck shook Wynn to the core as Anne left with her shares totaling $909 million, an enormous fortune. Number 6. Harold Hamm and Sue Ann Hamm, $974 million. The divorce proceedings of CEO and chairman of the Continental Resources, Harold Hamm, and his wife, Sue Ann Arnold, dragged on for about 3 years. In the end, on the orders of an Oklahoma district court, Hamm had to pay $1 billion in cash and assets, although he wrote her a check for $974.8 million. After some wavering, she deposited in early 2015. Later on, she went to court and sued for more, but her appeal was met with rejection from the court as she had accepted the check. However, Hamm had already paid $20 million during the case, so her final fortune does come up to about $1 billion. Number 7. Adnan and Soraya Khashoggi, $874 million. As expected from someone with the nickname the Great Gatsby of the Middle East, Adnan Khashoggi is a wealthy man. He has been an entrepreneur, arms trader, and a symbol of the high life in the 1970s and 1980s. After 20 years of marriage, he and his wife Soraya split in a divorce settlement where Soraya was bound to receive $874 million. However, Soraya claims to have only received $2 million. When put into modern figures adjusting for inflation, it is close to $2.3 billion. Number 8. Tiger Woods and Elin Nordegren, $710 million. Considered as the most famous blow-up in the history of sports, the divorce of Tiger Woods and Elin Nordegren made front-page news for many weeks to come, with more and more controversies associated with his infidelities reaching the public. Woods' wife decided to walk out after their 6-year marriage. Understandably, their divorce settlements only talked about big numbers, as can be expected from one of the biggest and highest-paid athletes of all time. Elin was to receive a whopping amount of $710 million as per the agreement. Number 9. Dmitry and Elena Rybolovlev, $604 million. In 2008, Elena Rybolovlev decided to walk out on her marriage with her husband, Dmitry Rybolovlev, a Russian businessman and investor, claiming that the reasons for her divorce are the series of infidelities that Dmitry had been involved in. The divorce was finalized in 2014, around the same time that the Cyprus government detained Elena for allegedly stealing a $28 million diamond ring that she later proved was gifted to her by Dmitry while they were still married. Number 10. Craig and Wendy McCaw, $460 million. After 21 years of marriage, cell phone industry pioneer Craig McCaw and newspaper publisher Wendy McCaw decided to split in 1997, with their divorce settlement estimated to be around $460 million. Even though not many details are known about the breakdown of their partnership, the case did involve a monster Hunts Point house, private jets, and Mediterranean vacations aboard Calyx, the family yacht. I hope you all enjoyed the video as much as we did filming it. Stay tuned for more.